What's up, Aquarius? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a full moon tarot reading for the full moon coming up on June 21st. This full moon is going to be at 9:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be at 1 degrees Capricorn, which is going to put it in the 22nd mansion of the moon. Now, you may be like, Jesse, why do you always mention these mansions of the moon? Okay. All astrology, all ritual magic is based off of the mansions of the moon, the movement of the processions of the moon. If you look at the ancient Babylon, like the oldest grimoires we know of, like the Picatrix, it's all based off the mansions of the moon. Everything is done on a specific mansion of the moon. If you're practicing ritual magic and you are not using the moon, you are doing it incorrectly. You got 2 cards. And because everything is based off of the mansion, even astrology are based off the mansion of the moon. If you look at ancient Vedic astrology, they have nakshatras, which are literally mansions of the moon. You have a time to give rather than take. And you are good enough. Very nice. This moon specifically, and that's also why I do my readings, by the way, on the new moon and full moon, because I also like to work with the natural precession of the moon, because that's how it should be done. With that being said, this is going to be a strawberry moon. Now, what's a strawberry moon, Jesse? Well, a strawberry moon is when it's like a pinkish red color. This is going to be a pinkish red color because it is an occultation, which just means it's being influenced or illuminated by the star Antares, which is a red supergiant. It's the 4th brightest star in our sky. It is the heart of the Scorpion. And I guess you probably realize from that it is in the heart of Scorpius. It is the brightest star in Scorpius, a Scorpii. It is one of the brightest stars in our sky. It's anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 times brighter than our sun. It is a red supergiant. That is why it's going to make the moon kind of pinkish red. And with that energy coming from Scorpius on the ecliptic, making that moon look like that, there is going to be an intense scorpionic energy to this, regardless of the fact that it's in Capricorn. So expect intense or transformational energies around this time. Ooh, this devil card wants to come out. So, the moon is also opposite the sun. It's in Capricorn. It's illuminated by Antares, which is heavy scorpionic energy, sex, transformation, magnetism, intensity, this type of stuff. It's opposite the sun. The sun's in Cancer, and the sun is also conjunct Venus in Cancer. That's love energy. That's like if you wanted to find love, that's good energy for it. Caveat being, both the sun and the moon, who are opposite each other, are square Neptune. Neptune is all about deception or illusions, dreams. So it may be more about you dreaming about having a love and never actually taking the steps to do it. Or if you find someone that you're interested in, you think it's one thing, but it actually is another. The sun square Neptune could actually be people around you being deceptive. It doesn't mean they're like trying to betray you or whatever, because people can be naturally deceptive anyway, just in general. And when you're just talking to someone, you put on a specific mask, that's deceptive in nature already. It's just part of who we are as people. So it's not this big crazy thing. And it doesn't mean that you can't find a love right now, because the energy is good for it. I'm just saying, have realistic expectations and try to think of the legacy aspect of it. Where is this going to go? Where do I really want this to go? And be realistic about it. That's what Capricorn is, right? And if you're Aquarius ascendant, it's your 11th or 12th house. 11th house is your house. So that's your social circle. So, and that's another thing. The energy is also right for changes in the hierarchy of specific friend groups, and also deception within those groups right now. Maybe some friends leaving, something's coming in, different head of the group, that type of thing. 12th house, that's the house of dreams. That's the house of the unconscious. That's Neptune, Pisces energy. So your dreams could be real intense right now. They could be focused on love, even your dreams, but they could also be deceptive in nature. And you could, if that's the case, you could be having really dreamy, deceptive thoughts about, imagining this thing and imagining that thing, and it not really be based in reality. But that's not even really a big deal, because we all do that anyway. It's just having an imagination. Anyway, with that being said, Aquarius, time to give rather than take. So there's something that you need to be giving right now, something that you have either within you or something that you're good at, a service. You need to be focusing on giving, because you are good enough. These are both green cards. Same face on them, too. Both Virgo. Virgos could be in y'all's lives, some of y'all's lives right now. Or you may have Virgo in your chart. That'd be an interesting combination, Aquarius and Virgo. That'd be a super smart individual, like super smart. Thinks differently and is super smart. Okay, so this is a victory card, like presenting yourself victorious, riding through victorious, but the core of your reading is the devil. Something you're feeling chained to. And it could be a relationship, and that's what it's saying. In this relationship, you are good enough. And it doesn't have to be your spouse. It can be your spouse, but some of you are single, and maybe your friends or just whoever you're around. It could be a relationship with yourself, right? You are good enough. Like, and if you're feeling chained to negative thoughts or to another person or to a situation or to a substance like alcohol or anything like that, or just bad habits in general, like, know that you are good enough, right? And it's being crossed by negative thoughts or like sneaky deceptive thoughts. This looks like someone is like suspicious of someone in a relationship. If I had to say specifically, some of you fear that someone is like cheating on you or lying to you or something along those lines, or vice versa, you're doing it. It's one way or the other. It just depends on the specific Aquarius. And it's saying a time to give rather than take. So, if you are being deceptive and taking swords or taking something, maybe you should start giving and know that you are good enough. Or most likely, if it's saying, if this card, you are good enough, it's maybe you're not feeling like you're treated like you are good enough. And whether it be like a professional environment, home life, family, whatever. You know, behind you is all these thoughts, like all these random ideas, just kind of confusing. It's Piscean type energy. So it looks like you're going to be moving past that because it's in the past. But you feel like you're chained to something, that something deceptive's happening like now, like right now. And that for many of you, it could actually be a relationship, right? I mean, you're crowned by giving love. It's saying, you know, time to give rather than take. It looks like you're trying. You're trying to give what you feel that you have that's valuable, right? At least you want to. You want to. But maybe you don't feel like the relationship's conducive to be able to do that. Or maybe you just haven't opened up in yourself. Like you're not necessarily willing to open up yet. Maybe you have a reason. Maybe you're closed off for some reason. Something happened. Or you have some kind of trepidation about opening up too much. You fear that you may be taken advantage of, you know. You do have 2 sevens here, so you're talking 7-7. This is in the unconscious. This is like you're defensive. You are defensive. This is the unconscious influence. So you're thinking in a very defensive manner. So yeah, maybe somebody did do something to make you feel defensive, that you needed to be defensive. You have 3 sevens. 7-7-7. This is destiny stuff. Sevens are lucky for me, but it's different for everybody, right? Because everyone has a different chart. Everyone has a different experience in life. Everybody has different disposition and preconceived notions about what this is and what that is. So the symbolism is different for every single person. You can look at what other people have said about a specific symbol and see what it's meant for them, and that can help you kind of maybe understand what it means for you. But you really need to like see when it's happening in your life, when you're seeing it, what you're thinking about, what happened that day, those types of things. And that'll kind of give you an idea of like what in your unconscious, when it's speaking these symbols to you, what it's supposed to mean. And it takes years of doing that. I've been doing it for years and years. I still don't know a lot of what the symbols I see mean. I know what some of them do for sure. 7s are very lucky for me, and so are 8s. I see 7-7-7, 8-8-8, I'm feeling good that day. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good day. And it always seems to work out just like that. So, but it's different for everybody. It's unique because we are unique people. So how that is interpreted from our unconscious to our conscious is unique to every person. It looks like you're planning something. And this is very specific, this reading. This feels very specific. So if this doesn't resonate with you, hit your other readings. If you don't know your ascendant, you need to look up your natal chart, figure that out. I have a video on that in my astrology section. It says you planning. You are planning, waiting for something to come in. It could be that you've been waiting for something, like you've been expecting something to come in, whatever that may be, different for each person, and that's why you feel deceived or you feel stuck because it hasn't come in yet. Like maybe it was promised or it was supposed to come in this, or you're expecting this, and it just didn't manifest as soon as you wanted, or maybe not at all even. Though it looks like all over here is very good. So a lot of this looks like you just need to like open up. You know that Fleetwood Mac song, "Open Up, Everything's Waiting for You." Yeah, you can go your own way. That song, it's a good song. Listen to that song. Open up. It can be hard to express our emotions. It really can be. Like, What Carl Jung say? People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Emotions can be tough. They can be very hard to deal with. Even though I wouldn't say Aquarians in general are the most emotional signs. You are very logical. Very fun, too. Aquarians are generally very fun. I had a long time there, like most of the people that were in my life that I really enjoyed being with were all Aquarians. It's because they think differently, and I like that. Because I have a lot of Sagittarius, so I kind of connect. And I have Jupiter, and my Jupiter is in Aquarius, and I had some mutual reception with Uranus, and Uranus is on my ascendant, so I actually kind of think like an Aquarius. So my ascendant has a conjunction with Uranus, which is the planet that rules Aquarius. So having that conjunction on there means I'm wearing the goggles of Aquarius. That's how I see the world. So like that's why I get along with Aquarians, because that's the way I intake knowledge is similar to an Aquarius. And with my ruling planet also touching it, it makes it a little bit more powerful for me. I'm not an actual Aquarius, though, but Jupiter's there. So that's my big benefic planet in Aquarius. Anyway, so you're making some kind of plans, but I wouldn't, and I think these plans are going to be contingent on you opening up and like figuring out what this situation is, like really getting to the bottom of it. So you might have to confront some people. You might have to be a little bit more assertive. You don't have to be aggressive, which I wouldn't. Aquarians generally aren't aggressive. They're more trying to understand the ideology of things. So even if it's a spouse or if it's someone close to you, you're going to have to get to the bottom of it. You know what I mean? You're going to have to be like, yo, we need to communicate. Communication is so important in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for 22 years. I'm not kidding. I don't look very old, but I am 38 years old. I've been in a relationship with my wife for 22 years. Communication. And not just communication, honest communication, like the truth, no matter how harsh it may be. It's important that you work through those things, because if you know all the facts, it's a lot easier to work through something. And people can do that. They can work through things if you just give them all the information. You'd be surprised how receptive someone will be if they love you. If they truly love you, they're going to try to figure it out. And so will you if you love them. That type of thing. So, I mean, it can be hard to say what we really feel, but it's important. Honest communication. And the willingness to sacrifice. Get everything out there the way you feel and the way you think. But the ability to be able to sacrifice, that's what love is to me. Like if somebody said define love, I'm going to tell you it's sacrifice. Literally being able to put someone above you. And that is not easy for most people to do, I promise. Most people don't even know who they are individually. I mean, none of us really do, because that's what life is. It's just discovering more and more of who we are. And we learn all the time. And that's what we're doing, unfolding and evolving. So to me, love is being able to, this idea of who you are, being able to put someone above you. That's love. And that's what I'm saying. Like most people, if they really love each other, even with how harsh the message may be, they'll be willing to work through it, because that's what love is. See, you right now, you're offering something of value forward. You have something valuable. Whatever this is that you have is valuable. So like, you are good enough. So, okay. So like, if this is like you brought some kind of idea forth and someone shot it down, like that could have helped you with it, pursue it on your own. If it's a relationship that you're trying to nurture and that you feel is valuable, don't give up on it. Go, offer it forward. Do your best to like honest communication. But whatever this thing that you have, it is valuable. And I can tell you it's valuable because of this is in the environment. The sun is shining. Leo is your opposite sign. You're on the same axis as Leo. So this card is prominent for you as well. So this could be something that valuable enough to like put you in the spotlight. Mind my animals, they're going crazy in there. They do that sometimes. But like, this could be something that puts you in the spotlight, like that brings you attention or fame. But you're going to have to work through whatever this is. Like if it's something you've been trying to create, like if you're trying to be a personality, you're trying to be discovered, something like that, you're going to have to put in the work. If you feel a slave to it, you need to first off recognize that you feel that way to it, admit it to yourself, and then plan. Figure out how to move forward. If it's in a relationship, you need to explain that. Yo, I'm feeling this way. I'm not feeling like I'm good enough. You're not making me feel like I'm good. I'm good enough. And what's saying you need to give, it means you need to take the step forward. You need to offer what's valuable. You need to step forward and be like, hey, we need to talk about this. Because it's unlikely that if it is with another person that they're going to do it. And because you're feeling defensive right now and you're unconscious, you're not wanting to do it. But I'm telling you, this is going to be good in your environment. The sun is waiting for you. It's shining. You just got to step into it. You got to offer it forward, because it is not only valuable, it's going to be noticed. And the advice is truth, honest communication, not just communication for the sake of communication, truth. And guess what that leads to? Happy home, celebration, victory, what you want. And I say victory because of this. So you can do this, but you're just gonna have to step forward and be assertive and say what you really think and really feel. That's not always easy, because if you do care for somebody, you're gonna be worried about upsetting them. You know what I mean? But that comes with the territory. It's not always kumbaya, right? There's both sides to the coin. It's yin and yang. To even understand what happiness is, you have to know what sadness is. To understand what sadness is, you have to know what happiness is. It's inseparable. So you're going to have to deal with both sides of things. You can't just take half the picture and just live in la la land and hope it works out. If you're that off balance, things are going to show in your life that it's off balance. You're going to feel chained. You're going to feel deceived. These types of things. You got to acknowledge both sides, and you work through it together, or you even just work through it with yourself or whoever you're dealing with. Because you have to acknowledge it. And if you can acknowledge that it has to exist, it's less likely to affect you in such a shocking way, because you're like, yeah, this kind of stuff has to exist, because I wouldn't be able to learn if it wasn't for comparison of opposites. If I didn't have the comparison of opposites, I wouldn't even be able to learn. I wouldn't be able to say this is this and this is this without this and that. You know what I mean? The comparison. So it's very beneficial. Anyway, it looks like it's all good. You just got to step forward. You just got to step forward and say, hey, I will be the one to say how I feel. I will give my opinion. I will give of myself to make this situation better, because you are good enough, and you need to let whatever situation the situation is that's trying to make you feel, or whatever's making you feel like you're not good enough, you need to just be like, I'm definitely good enough. And I'm telling you, you are. Whatever this idea you have, or whatever you have in you, it is valuable and it is good. And the sun is sitting in your environment waiting for you to step forward and make it happen. Make it known. Okay, that's all I have, Aquarius. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Also, hit the notification bell. My channel is small. I don't have a lot of subs. I'm not going to pop up on your front page when I upload. So if you don't have the notification bell on, you're not going to know when I upload, unless you just go off the new moon and full moon, because that's when I always upload. I work with the precession. But anyway, you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. I'm just glad you're here, and I hope to see you here again, Aquarius. Happy full moon.